YouTube, what up? It's your boy Clipper the Clipper, and I'm back at it in this video topic discussion. I'm gonna be addressing a follow-up video that I just seen from the legend himself, Casper Shite. Casper Shite, how you doing? He dropped another interesting video with some cool info, some pics I've never ever seen before, and of course, I gotta elaborate on this situation and try to answer some questions as best as I could if I could recall or remember it. So Casper Shite, I seen your video, I seen all the new pictures and stuff like that I've never seen before. And I just wanna, go through because you asked a couple of questions. So, to bring some type of, you know, um, humblingness to the situation or understanding to the situation, you have to be privy that is just not one situation or one problem that we're dealing with on the earth. So I'm gonna start it off because a lot of the videos haven't been seen by certain people that ask certain questions. They probably see, a new video that I've talked about and then didn't see the other videos maybe on other pages if you was keeping up with me, because I made it a little scattered on purpose because I didn't like how people was taking my information. But I talked about creative, preserver, and destroyer. People don't understand that the creator side of the situation makes life and stuff like that. Now, what I want to tell people, what I want to tell everybody is, it's more than one problem that's going on planet Earth. Okay, if the planet had tall trees and the instrument, we was obviously stuck in the yoga. So if we was stuck in the yoga, the planet might have been either we're here to suffer or somebody put us here to suffer. Okay, so if it was a natural circuit in which a human being is placed on planet Earth back in the day, I'm talking about centuries, decades, millenniums ago, right? If you look at the depiction on how the earth was here, before it was tampered with and touched, that's something that we're seeing right now. We're seeing proof that the earth was tampered and touched. Okay? So if the earth was tampered and touched, let's just say for instance that in religion, the correlation of life and why we're here was basically translated through the aftermath, and that's why there's a religion. So if you want to call planet Earth purgatory or hell, you got to look at it at a different stanza. If there's an instrument or plenty of instruments and the weather's different, if there's no buildings, no tall buildings, skyscrapers and stuff like that, the earth would be hotter, okay? What you fail to realize is all of these tall buildings that's on planet Earth is making the earth cold. It's shadowing the earth. It's making the earth cold. So if all of this stuff, including with the electricity, all these skyscrapers, all these tall buildings weren't here, we would be much hotter. And guess what, guys? Through the society that we live in, the more they build the buildings, the worse the global warming comes. So I tell you two things. If you see that there's a situation of a global warming, then you should understand that it's just not the United States of America that's going through a warming. It's probably the whole universe, okay? And the reason why this change is happening through the universe is because the abduction of planet Earth by the Nordic alien, of course. This is why you see P-47 and P-52 and other type of aliens, and they're here because it is a natural fact that the human life, the humankind, we was basically abducted by the Nordics. And what the Nordics do is, because the Nordics was in Scandinavia, in the land of Scandinavia, they understand that the earth is the earth of degeneration, meaning if something dies, it grows back, right? So what the Nordics taught and what the Nordics is still doing to this day, and other races, including human beings, what we hate and despise, is what? They're molesting us. The Nordics. They're stopping our sex. They're stopping our reproduction system. If you look how they destroyed planet Earth, they stopped the reproduction system by cutting down the tall trees because what? They're borderline giants and getting rid of the instrument. It's a sign of molestation. If we was put on this earth to be on our knees and to starve until we die because we're listening to a bell, right? The climate is different, okay? And we're just amazed by how the earth is processing without tall buildings in society. You understand where I'm coming from. You understand why this is a bigger ordeal, okay? A Nordic is on the earth laughing at a regular human being, knowing that it's taking away from us or not starting something. If the earth is degeneration, you have to start something to degenerate. The white people or the Nordics, whatever you want to call them, they're not starting a certain path in life for us so we can degenerate the right way. So if you want to look at this as if it's hell, okay, maybe the Nordic made hell into a party. That's where this party like a rock star things come from. Skull and bones in this society. So understand the genius brain of a Nordic, right, is preserving hell. Let's say people got casted to hell. Everybody at one point in time when you learned about the realm of hell, you thought that the human being was going to be in a literally fiery pit, and our flesh and our skin was going to be on fire forever. That's really inhumane. Not just inhumane, but it's not physically possible. However, gases, right? Gases and acid and stuff like that, besides the actual flame of fire, gases can make the human body, the skin, feel like it's burning and on fire without actually being on fire. Okay, it's symbolic, it's detailed description on what exactly a burn or fire is. Okay, that's why there's no pictures in your Bible, in your Quran, and stuff like that. The transaction, from what we were back in the day as native and jungle until now, the present, you see there's a P-47 and a P-52. If you look at the embodiment, the embodiment makes sense of what goes on in the food chain of planet Earth. Look at a gray alien. It looks like an insect. It looks like an amphibian. And it also gives you lizard vibes. It gives you carnivore vibes. It's like it has a transsexual bop to it. Look at a gray alien. And then you see insectoids, insect aliens. Now look at the food chain. A frog or an amphibian, what do they eat? They eat insects. Okay? So if you look at the planet is at war because it's like basically a mutual battleground. It's a battleground for the other planets and the other star systems and stuff like that to come to. It's easy to come to. The question is the human supposed to be here? And it doesn't. And another question is, can you consider a gray alien or any type of alien a demonic entity if the human was supposed to be here suffering? If this is supposed to be a punishment of us, right, being on planet Earth, let's just look at it like this. If you don't believe what I just said just now, there's a lot of people without a parent. There's a lot of people without children, right? There's a lot of people without children. So if you look at back in the day when we was outside, if humans was creating humans under, I guess, a bigger alien, a smarter alien, like they was breeding us, or if we was lucky enough to breed ourselves, but the whole time we was under a brain control of an entity that we can't see, and that's why it's still a sign of hell, and it's still a sign of suffering. Now, certain people is not going to be brought into planet Earth to suffer. If you're a person that's 60 years old, you got 2 kids and you got 2 girls, obviously you didn't have a son that a child, meaning a son or a child that was put here to be punished. Okay? You have to look at it that way. It's not necessarily if an alien is demonic, it picked up on something. Okay? And if an alien is demonic, which one is it? Okay? It's a natural fact, and the government knows it. That's why the government is in cahoots with the tall whites and the Nordics and stuff like that. They're in cahoots with that specific alien, and look what they do to us in the school system. Look what they do to us in the work system. They molest us. If you molest something that's supposed to degenerate, you're basically preserving the degeneration. I just told you, creator, right? Brahma, Vishnu, preserver, right? You got to look at what the deeper meaning of what I'm teaching you. And Shiva, the destroyer. Okay? So if something is supposed to degenerate, and you have a tall white or a Nordic using its intelligence to delay the degeneration, it's a sign of Vishnu preserving. Now the question is the other aliens mad that you're torturing the human beings? And that's the question, and that's the answer. Yes, they are. That's why they're coming over here to show themselves in their embodiment. Okay? When they have the black lenses covering their eyes, they look like everything that's present on planet Earth. Okay? And the reason why I use the word transgender or transsexual is because if you look at Skinny Bob, go look at the Skinny Bob, it has woman body, right? It has a woman's embodiment, right? And then you look that a woman is more powerful than she is smart. Okay? So you got to do the correlation of what I'm trying to tell you. It's not one specific answer someone can give you. Okay? Just because you're a human and you feel terrorized on planet Earth, like I said, in today's society, y'all molest and do homosexual activity and violent activity. Y'all did it so much that it became normal to you. All right? It became normal to you. So right now in the present day, we're living in an uncomfortable situation. I don't think the human body and the human mind is supposed to be confused. I don't think the human mind is supposed to know what fear is. If I'm supposed to be on my knees listening to a bell in the heat with no buildings, and my body is supposed to die. Okay? And be here for the Met. I don't think you understand. I was supposed to get rid of the torture a long time ago, and then this smart entity taught us how to have fun. A tall white Nordic or a Palladian alien. I think they know how to laugh. They know how to joke. You see what I'm saying? It's not one specific answer to your question on why we're here. Okay? Because the reality of the answer to your question will scare you, and you're not going to accept it. You don't accept it now. Okay? Women don't accept that men have a problem with homosexuality. There's millions of women that have sex with men knowing that they did something homo, and that's the woman's way of trying to let the man know it's okay, you was just horny. However, it doesn't mean that the woman is right for that. Okay? It does not mean that. You have to understand that. She's just in the gray, just like a man is. A man is confused, and so is a woman. If the organicness of the earth was ripped out and we was here supposed to be under some type of sanction, we're never gonna be right. We're never gonna be as organic as we were supposed to be. Okay? That's the answer to it. There's nothing we can do. That's why P47 and P52 is reminding you that there's human beings on planet Earth that look just like us. Right or wrong. You have a monster looking alien, right? And then you have an alien that looks like us all the time, whether it's big or small. I told you it's about embodiment. The human being, we're sustaining like a bad, what is it? Not a karma, but it's like terrain. Okay? Our bodies is stronger than what we know. Okay? And when we look at an alien that's not from this world, and then you look at the footage, they can't breathe here. They can't last here. Okay? They just have the brain power to keep going what they're doing. We have the embodiment to sustain, to stand out in the rain, or to be out in the heat, or be in the cold, or if it snows and stuff like that. We have the strong embodiment for it. But our brains is not of alien in making society as great as it became. Let's just look at it. If this is hell for me and you, right? And the Nordics came and they took us out of hell, guys. And they taught us the house. And they taught us how to cook. Not to catch a monkey like how we were eating a monkey because we can tolerate it inside. Okay, I mean outside. If we was outside and our body was in shock, we wouldn't die eating raw meat or eating live food and stuff like that. We would just survive off what we got. We just have skinny embodiments. You know, we'll be stuck in our throats. Your skin will turn blue. Okay? If we was outside eating the animals and living outside, we can survive. If you do that nowadays, living in a house, especially from birth till now, you have no chance of living. So that's exactly what the Nordic did. But in, the Nordic seen that the embodiment of a human being on earth was the same. So it's mateable. Okay? You can mate. A lion can mate with a cheetah in the jungle by itself because it has the same body. Okay? A jaguar can mate with a tiger because it has the same body on its own. Not necessarily having humans make it mate with each other. Okay? So the Nordics seen the opportunity to make a lesser Nordic through us. And that's what we're living through right now. Alright? So you have to understand, when you see red, when you see these videos, the Virginia Brazil alien, and you see red in the alien's eyes, it's supposed to be here. Okay? It's supposed to be here. It's a natural fact that the Nordic is molesting us. It's like a parent, a father and a mother who don't want their child to grow up. You don't want your child to grow up in a real society because the real society is going to hurt you. Okay? The real society is going to make you work. The real society is going to give you the flu. The real society is going to beat you up. The real society is going to make you sleepy. It's going to make your hair fall out. It's going to give you cancer. So a parent, a mother and a father, they really don't want that to happen to their child. So they could be mean to their child on purpose so they won't have an opportunity in the real world. You see what I'm saying? Or the parent, the mother and the father can trick the child any type of way. Certain people rather send their kid to jail. They rather send their children to jail than to send them to have a successful career, to get married, and to have children. That is very, very possible. That happens all the time. It's a different type of protection. You see what I'm saying? Okay, I'll let you work for a little while, but if it's too much of a strain, I can design something to where I'll kick you out the house, and then eventually you'll have to quit your job because you have nowhere to stay. You'll be too tired to work. You see the genius mind of the Nordic? It was the Nordic, people. It was the Nordic. Okay, and the tall white, it's a natural fact, it's the Nordic that learned molestation instead of death. Okay? And the gray alien does not like it. It does not like it. It does not like the fact that the Nordic is here, stopping planet Earth from being planet Earth. What is a tree? A tree is oxygen. If they cut off all our trees and our flowers and just put mad buildings around, it's gonna suffocate us. Y'all do know we need trees to breathe, right? And if you look at it, the taller the tree and the more trees, the better the breathing was. The human being was more functional. We could just drink some water because you're thirsty, you're not really hungry. We could drink a little bit of water being outside and still go back to meditation. Like they explain to you exactly what the three embodiments was of creator, preserver, and destroyer. The strongest yogi was Shiva. He went on top of the mountain, didn't eat, drink, or go to the bathroom. That's how strong the human body was. So that's how you eventually live your life. That's how you would live your life as a kid. As a kid, you would see the king, you would see somebody like Shiva showing you how strong he was by sitting still. Now imagine if we was under a bell, if we're sitting up there with our legs crossed and there's a bell or some type of instrument helping us concentrate. We lost our concentration. The Nordics took the concentration. What Muslims and Islam show, they show the prayer and making salat, they show that you can obtain the concentration. See, when I'm in a concentrated you know what I'm saying? When I'm concentrated and I'm walking around we're relaxed and concentrated, I feel good. I don't have to eat, I don't have to drink, I don't have to do nothing. I can just sit there and just, with my eyes closed and everything, and not feel anything. I did it in jail. They locked me up for 24 hours for 6 months. But I had the concentration from praying and making salat that when they locked me up, it didn't faze me. It didn't faze me. I just became angry. And I started attacking or whatever because they start liking what they seen. You like the fact that I wasn't thrown off and you locked me up wrongly already. You know exactly who I am. You wrongfully locked me up for mad long for no reason. And now you see that it's not bothering me because I can sit in the middle of the floor until chow comes in after chow. And that's what I was doing. I was just right either on my bed or on the floor, eyes closed, and the day was passing quick. And the guards used to bang on the door on purpose, this, that, and the third, and bother me on purpose. So when they bothered me on purpose, I showed them the different type of monster that a Native American has in them, and then they got scared. That's just what it is. A tall white Nordic messing with an entity that's already here, that's supposed to be here. The tall white notice that is just a savage. You know, the natives is here, is just a savage. And just basically trying their luck until the natives threw a spear at the Nordic or went and bit the Nordic in the face. Understand that. Understand that it backfired on the Nordic. Understand that society that we live in was basically a treat. It was a treat, you know, because it looks too harsh. It looks too hard. It was too harsh. You know, being in the heat, people passing out, and people dying, you becoming food for the mech. You know, animals just coming to eat you and stuff like that. And people right next to you is watching a crow peck your eyes out. Or watching a whole bunch of maggots come eat your body. That's how it was. Okay? So that's the sign of religion, and that's what they're telling you through purgatory and hell. That's what hell was. It's not an eternal flame as your skin is burning on fire. It's the internal feeling. Not eternity. Basically, it's internal. It's what you feel inside. It's your anger. It's your fear. It's your hunger. It's your thirst. Okay? So, the way to get this all over with is a Royal Rumble. Every man for theyself. The Draconians can shapeshift into a tall white or a Nordic. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm coming from? You see how it's another star system? It's other star systems. And the star systems is easy to get here because it's like planet Earth is the lit Earth. Planet Earth is the escape Earth. Planet Earth is where you can live. Obviously, because they're coming here. We don't know what's going on Saturn. We don't know what's going on Jupiter and all them other places, Venus and stuff like that, because we not there. So don't worry about it. You have to understand that. You have to understand that the Nordic is so smart that it could confuse an organic UFO. It confuses an organic UFO, and then the gray alien has to shapeshift into the UFO and fulfill the deed that the organic UFO was supposed to do. Look at the grass. Grass is not here. Look at Antarctica. It's melting. You see? You see how it's changing because the Nordic is not supposed to be here? It's the Nordic. You're supposed to let the earth do what it do. You're making tall skyscrapers, coliseums, right? Stadiums. These big, tall buildings, y'all all are wrong. These big, tall buildings is making the planet cold. It's making it cold. So you're making sinkholes in the earth. So when you make a sinkhole in the earth, what's in the middle of the earth? Gas. Right? Gas. Gas can hurt a human being. And who corrects? That's the word I'm looking for. Who corrects the gas storm? A UFO. A UFO corrects a gas storm, guys. Understand that. It's more than one problem. It's more than one issue. And the issue is the Nordic. You see P-47 and P-52. That's different than the Nordic alien. Look at the tall white. That's different than the Nordic. Okay? Just look at a Lyran. Look at the feline aliens that left planet Earth. That is different than the Nordic. Okay? They had other races here, but the Nordic is terrible. The Nordic is evil and it doesn't know it. Okay? The beast and the savage that's in us, if I gotta go to hell for being a natural beast, a natural savage, then bring the hell on. Because that's how you made me. I didn't know nothing. I was put here to suffer. That's why I said y'all should not be up here scared of nothing. Y'all shouldn't want to obey nobody. You shouldn't want to have to go to work and pay the rent. Tell the Nordic we not going to work. You're going to pay us for messing up society. You're going to feed us, house us, and everything. Because you messed it up. Now the beast alien, the ones that we scared of, now that they coming out and they showing their embodiment and they showing their flesh, the Nordic got a problem and the Nordic is scared. The human beings, what we going to do? We're going to learn the truth. How can we learn the truth? In every government video, they tell you they use what? Telepathy. They use telepathy. So you're basically telling me that a human being is looking at a gray alien, getting smart just by looking at the gray alien? He's answering his own questions just by looking at an alien? Think about it. That's what you're telling us. So this is why I'm me. I'm going to make you a little smarter. Do these gray aliens not look like skeletons? They don't look like skeletons, people? Are these our skeletons resurrected? You just told us P-47 and P-52 are present plus 47 and 52,000 years in the future. So if I died right now through a nuclear warhead, the only thing that stay here is my skull and bones. And the Nordic alien knows that. Okay? So, is there another powerful entity, another powerful energy source that resurrected our skull and bones, our skeleton? And now our skeleton became an embodiment. Our skeleton became a living, breathing thing without the flesh. And it wants to wage war on the Nordics. So the Native Americans that look like me, the Native Americans that look like the Asians, the Native Americans that look like the Caribbeans, the Spanish, and the white people, our white people, not their white people, our Caucasian people that's born sick with blue eyes and blonde hair, the ones that's born disabled, that's born in the cold, are the skeletons us resurrected, taking on the Nordics? That's what you gotta realize. That's what you gotta accept. That's why I say I don't care if we all die. Because I feel like we're gonna come back in our own skin and bones, skull and bones, and we're gonna take on whatever we gotta take on in the incorporeal realm. I told you, it's all incorporeal that comes to corporeal. Your sperm in your body, your egg in your body is the incorporeal. Until it's out here in the flesh. Okay? Understand that. Understand that these people or aliens or whatever, they joined each other. They joined each other. You see? You see how it's a beast, it's a monster versus an embodiment that resembles a human being? You see that? You see how the beast and the monster, the gray, it looks like the tall human being, but it's not the same thing? I got called a wolf. I used to get called a bobcat. I had a friend, a female friend. She was Italian in kindergarten, in first grade, in school 16, right? She decided to be nice to me because she said I look like a bobcat. But she was a girl, but she was like a boy girl. Like she was a dyke at the age of 7. She played hockey, rugby. She had acne. Her name was Jennifer. She had acne on her face at the age of 8. She probably was on hormone at the age of 8. She had titties at the age of, in kindergarten, playing. Her mom was probably feeding her hormone, playing hockey and stuff. And she called me a bobcat in front of everybody. And my teacher got mad at her and pulled her to the side and made her mom come or whatever. And then they used to take care of me. They used to make me sandwiches and stuff like that. And they used to watch me the whole time in school 16 because she called me a bobcat in front of people and everybody started shaking their head. No. I used to go through it in school. I just never used to tell my mom and father what used to happen. I used to go through it in elementary school. I just never used to say nothing or whatever. And that's why my school loved me so much, because I wasn't no wimp. I wasn't no punk or nothing like that. If I get called something, I get called something. I knew I was under investigation because when I wasn't in school and I was around Max Kellerman and I was around my family, I was fighting 24/7. So I'm not going to sit up there and go to school. That was my break. That was my vacation. I didn't have to go to school. I wasn't going to let somebody get me suspended for doing something that I was doing in front of a celebrity, getting the thumbs up and the head nod and being called cool. It just wasn't in my body, you heard? I wasn't no punk. But Jennifer, she resembled a Nordic. Okay? She resembled a tall white alien. Okay? She resembled a draconian shape-shifting into a white man or a white woman. That's what she did. Okay? Understand that the planet is the whole planet is not supposed. It's not supposed to be no buildings here. You see what I mean? How a UFO was confused by a Nordic alien? Don't you realize? A UFO or ball lightning is supposed to communicate with a tall tree. Instead, we have a tall building in replacement of a tall tree. They also use mirrors, and mirrors is made from water and all types of other, stuff that's organic to the earth. Okay? If a UFO or a ball of lightning is looking for something and there's such thing as a mirror and a backdraft, okay? There's a backdraft and there's something called light and sound, right? You seen a plane before? The plane is screeching, is moving really fast, and you hear the sonic boom, and there's a delay in the sound. There's a delay in the earth. There's an echo in the earth. There's a shadow in the earth. No, stupid, it isn't 4 and 5 suns. It could look like it's 2, 3, and 4 and 5 suns because it is a mirror effect off the water, because a mirror is made like from a water type substance. There's another way you can make a mirror. There's more than one way you can make a mirror. So when the sun is reflecting off the mirror, off the water, there's a mirror effect. They told you a dolphin can take you underwater and bring you up and you'll be alive. Why? The echo. There's a solar ecosystem. It's basically breathing an extra air for you. That's what happens. That's what happens when you hear a plane or a jet going by. You hear something that's delayed because it's so strong. You see, the aircraft is so strong that the delayed sound and the delayed feeling hits you late. That's symbolic to echo, right? Echo, you hearing the sound. Echo was a dolphin. Okay? There's too many problems on the earth. The Nordics didn't like how the humans was here suffering. They gave us a better way of life. We were dying. We were dying. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. Like they say, right? Okay, granted, if a human being can have sex with a human being, and then a little human being is born, and then you look across the water, and then you see a UFO, and it beams down a human being, you start to see where I'm coming from. Okay? If you see something coming out the water, turning into a human being, you start to understand that we're in a simulation. And religion is real. Okay? It's real. You went against it because you didn't think it was real. The Nordic made it not real. If there's no tall buildings here and you're here just to suffer, that's your religion. You understand why you're here. Okay? I don't think a lot of people get that. But they humanized us. The Nordics, we weren't savages no more. They made us like them. The reason why we're confused is because we don't know how the Nordics is living on their earth. Are they gay? Are they homosexual? What's going on? That's why we're confused. They brought the confusion over here. If you look at the Lyrans, the cat people, they said the hell with it. We hate you white motherfuckers. We're leaving. You can have them. We made them for you so you can leave us alone. Don't Shiva look like that? Go look at Shiva. He looks like you're going to get on his nerves. Right? King Shiva. King Shiva looks like a white person got on his fucking nerves. And he just left. Vishnu too. Vishnu, he's a monster. They all look like, that's what that Jimmy looks like. Brahm, Vishnu, it looks like the white people came, Gilgamesh, whatever you want to call them, the Sumerians, they came to the Nordics. They came here, they pissed us all off, and we left. And that's exactly how we feel right now. Tell the truth. I'm just being real. It don't matter if you're black, African, Asian. It don't matter if you're me, you're Spanish. We all, the other white people, are white people. White people hate white people. It's a thing. White people hate white people. The Nordics, they came over here. They molested us. They pissed all of us off. All of us. And we can't stand them. And where we came from, they left. They left us here. They just can't stand nobody. Facts. Those Nordics are not us. Okay? The Nordic people aren't Irish people. They aren't. I'm just letting you know. The tall whites, they aren't Irish people. They ain't the white people that you go outside right now. You gonna know a Nordic when you see one. Okay, you're gonna know a Nordic when you see one. When you go see a regular white person, you just know he or she's you're just a regular. I'm gonna say even you can't even help us. The disappointment we had for you. We thought you can help us. We looked up to you. We gave you a chance. You can't even help us. We're done with it. I'm done with it. Until we get rid of it, I've been complaining about the Nordics forever. They stopped the sex. It's a part of the world of degeneration. Okay? The humans have sex. They have a baby. It dies off. There's other people for it to start again, and then it dies off. It eventually dies off. The Nordic is trying to extinct the planet so nothing can die. Nothing can be created or die. It's just here. Okay? Plants, they die off and come back. The Nordic doesn't want it to come back. So if it doesn't want it to come back, it doesn't want it to start. People, it don't want it to start. It just wants to land. It's comfortable here. They said on other planets it's gas storms, raining diamonds. Planet Earth is the only planet that you could come to where you could breathe and not die instantly. That's what they said. The Nordics taught you a long time ago. What do you think education is? How am I a subconscious creature and you sat up here and learned something that was just as, supposedly, just as savage and just as jungle and just as dumb as you? How am I a subconscious creature? Okay. Understand that. There's more than one problem. You got to get rid of them. And that's the point. We can't get rid of them. They not from here. They just come here. They can leave like in an Uber and come back in an Uber again. That's the definition of hell to me. It's different levels of hell. Just let me go. Why are you testing me? You're giving me acne. You made me smart. You fed me something that tastes good. And then I had a cold, a stomach ache, a diarrhea. You white bastard. Like, you see what I'm saying? You see what you did? Just let it be what it was supposed to be. And that's not the case. And it's never going to happen. You know? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say. You see the Indians. You see what the Indians do, the other Indians? They make sure they become friends of the Nordic aliens so they can know their every move. That's why. You see what the Indians do. You see the Asians. The Asians, they're about to turn into their own little monster and try to eat the white people. But, the Nordic is just too swift. That's what we hired the Asians for. We hired the Asians to get rid of the Nordics. The Nordics is just a little swifter than us. We'll get them eventually. We just got to learn. We just got to learn from the Greys. That's it. We got to learn from the Greys. That's how I feel about this situation. That's how I feel about the situation. I feel like we're on a path. We're on a path to actually getting rid of these motherfuckers, right? To getting rid of them or scaring them straight. It's just something. It's something there. It's something there that's just going to intervene and fuck us up. I'm being dead serious, yo. I'm dead serious. The world of degeneration. They know how to molest you, bro. They know how to molest you. You see when they said it's tall black aliens, they showed people that look like African Americans. You see what I'm saying? With big heads. You see what I'm saying? 7 foot tall. This is just one planet, yo. There could be a planet right next to us, man. A car goes 60 miles per hour. Take for instance, it goes 60 miles per hour. That's the law. That's the law. To get to Virginia, 6 to 8 hours. How many miles does it take to get to Virginia? Just look it up. So if you're going only 60, you're going to get there in a specific amount of time. So basically, in another word, they taught us that the aliens don't have a limit of speed on how they could get here. So they're going to get here very quickly. To the point where it's portal-like. It's portal-like. Yeah. You see, law of the limit? The law of the limit? Who does that sound like? Stopping us from going fast? Who does that sound like? You know? Limiting us. We went from savage. Now their biggest mistake is making us smart like them. That's the Nordics' mistake. They made us savage. They made us savage almost as smart as them. That was the worst thing in the world. Look at a house cat. Go look at the videos of house cats. House cats know how to say no more than they say yes. Why does a house cat know how to say no more than they say yes? Because a house cat does not want to be touched. A cat does not want to be touched. You're touching the cat because you feel like the cat belongs to you, not knowing that the cat does not want to be touched. It's frightened. When you touch it, your touch is different and everything. You see what I'm saying? Molestation. The cat was around you the whole time, and the cat seen when you got angry, you didn't like something, you said no. That's how smart the cat is. It's savage. It's a jungle. So when the cat picked up on the frequency, and the cat knows how to make a sound, it just mirrored you. It mirrored you just like the Nordic made the mirror. I think that's obvious. Okay?